Hello everybody, and welcome to week 1 of SPDL Season 5. I am Leeds Lucarios, and I am playing a team this week, I'll put it that way. So I'm playing Amerillo and the Dallas Tyranistars, and he memed basically in draft, and the entire time it was happening I really thought he was then going to make a good team out of what was left in Grace. Stuff like Mega Gardevoir didn't go and stuff, so I thought he was just going to do that. He didn't, and I mean, I respect it. He's fully committed on the 1.1s. But honestly, this really terrifies me because I do not want to be the guy that loses to this. So I've pulled out not all the stops. I haven't had enough time to do a load of calcs this week. I've been pretty busy, but I have done calcs from Rillaboom. That's the only thing I've done for, so it might be slightly slower than a lot of my matches because I will be live calcing some bits probably, whereas I usually do most of my calcs pre-game. But I mean, we can talk about his team. I have very limited knowledge on what most of these things do. Gallade just seems like a good bulky rocker with Light. Like Dragon Ground is a good defensive typing, and then obviously offensively Earthquake is a really good move. Riolu looks to be a more offensive thing. It's got a good attack stat, it gets good priority with Bullet Punch, it hits pretty hard, it gets all the same coverage Lucario does, so it can definitely do good things there. Swirlex is actually something that you can see drafted fairly often because it's a webs option, so kind of looking through this team thinking, okay, what is it that I can potentially lose to here? Webs is definitely one of them, so I needed to make sure I had a good amount of removal there to get Webs off the field. Hypno is a weird one because the standard set is actually physically offensive, but it's kind of just as good specially. It's got very similar stats, like very similarly, just very average stats basically. So that's the thing. Pachirisu, as we all know, is the GOAT in VGC. Obviously did really good a few years ago in VGC, but yeah, it basically does all of that there. It does nuzzle shenanigans and all of that, so not too scared of that. Galarian Linoon is actually surprisingly fast at base 100. It's a dark normal, so it can hit fairly decently, but I have a couple of very good responses to it on my team, so I'm not sure how likely a bring that is. It has Quick Feet, so the most common set you see is Toxic Orb with Quick Feet, and then he's actually really, really fast. Monferno is actually a mon I've lost to before in a game. A bulky Monferno was brought against me once to check a Kartana, and it did that very, very well. So I'm definitely aware of what that can do. It can be very bulky with the Eviolite and being able to slack off, so actually recover as well. Or it can be run more offensively. Fighting and Fire is very good coverage. Not against my team is pretty good, so that could happen. Clang, I didn't actually look, but I assume it can do the same stuff that Clang does. But obviously it's just worse. It can also be run as a bulky steel type potentially, which is probably a bit more annoying for me in this game. But obviously it gets the same electric coverage as well, so that's to be aware of. Fearow is an outlier here in the sense that it is a 1.1, it is terrible, but it's actually fully evolved. I'm thinking, how on earth is Fearow that bad? But it kind of is. It's terrible, literally. The thing to be aware of with Fearow is it does get Drill Run, so let's be aware of that with Heatran. Heatran does not switch into Fearow at all. Drill Run is about its only coverage move that it gets. Illumise, I believe, can Quiver Dance, so that's a thing, but it is an Illumise. I don't expect that to come. And then the last two mons on his team there, I think by far the best two. I guess Fearow and Monferno can kind of question that, maybe Gabite and Rioli, but Quilladin can actually be very, very bulky with Eviolite. I saw Matt use it last season, and it was actually pretty good for him. Just bringing very bulky with Eviolite and stuff. And Brion is actually what I'm kind of scared of, because my team does not switch in well to the combination of Water and Fairy on the special side. Yeah, it's just how it is. So actually, I'm terrified of Specs Brion, which sounds hilarious, but I just kind of am. It can also be run bulkier with Eviolite, so you can do that, or it can be run offensive, but also with Eviolite, and you get a balance of the two. So I'm going to get into what I'm bringing. Sorry if you hear any background noise. I tend to fidget a lot when I do stuff, so let's just... You can pardon me for that, I think. Before we get into the team, I do actually have a trade to talk about. I made a free agent transaction with my team, and I can replay the scene in my head, so and say it to you. So essentially, I finally, on I think it was Thursday, looked through and go, okay, which 8 teams am I actually playing this season? Because I'm good to get ahead on trying to thinking, okay, what can be good in certain matchups. And before I even got to do any of that, I see immediately week 2 I play Spectria, and my team has no Ghost Resist. And that was obviously the main problem, which I forgot to acknowledge in the video, but I did know about when I drafted the team, is that I had no Ghost Resist, which is like, there aren't that many good Ghost types anymore now that Dragapult's gone. But obviously there's like Gengar, who I don't play. And then there's Spectria, and I was like, well, actually, if I can dodge Spectria, that works fine, and I don't have problems there. I play Spectria next week, so I was thinking, okay, panic mode, I need to pick up a Ghost Resist, and there are a couple of options. I was looking at, the first thing that I saw was Obstagoon in 12 points. I was thinking I could have traded Azelf for Obstagoon, and then that would have given me a good Ghost response. The thing I didn't really like about that is that, 1, I really wanted to use Azelf, and 2, it would have destroyed my speed tiers. I would have had a 30-point gap in there between Manaphy at 100 and Aerodactyl at 130. So didn't really like that, and I kept scrolling down, and then I saw Skuntank and Guzzlord in 6 points, which I was like, oh, thank God for that. So what I've ended up doing is I've traded Wynaut and Drifblim for Guzzlord, and it's unfortunate. I was looking forward to potentially using Drifblim over the course of the season, and Wynaut was kind of just a funny value pick down in 2. But Guzzlord does make the team a lot better overall. It's not got good stats, but it's brilliant HP. Stat can make it somewhat bulky despite only having like 40 base defenses, and it hits back pretty hard, so it's definitely a good ghost check to have on the team, and it rounds out the team pretty nicely. It's just better as like this bulky mon than Skuntank is. Skuntank is more of a, it gets defog, it gets T-spikes, it does a bit of everything, whereas I wanted kind of purely a defensive piece really, so I've gone ahead and made that trade. But getting into the team I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it, starting off here, we've got this Heatran here with the leftovers. We've got Toxic Protect, Magma Storm, and Earth Power. Now, the thing with this team is I look at it and thinking, he's going to try and pull some kind of shenanigans with this team. So my plan is essentially, in a lot of scenarios, especially if the Gabite doesn't come to the game, which I have no idea what he's going to bring. So there's that. I think Brion and Quilladin are probably definites, but then anything else, I'm like, what the heck? But no, so this Heatran here is essentially designed to lead and then click Protect first turn in case there's any Endeavour shenanigans going on or anything like that. I want to work out immediately what his team is trying to do. So I've got Toxic Protect, Magma Storm, and Earth Power, and essentially I'm just going to stall out the 1-point team in a way with this, because you see with the next one on the team, I just need a bit of damage on stuff like the Gabite and the not the Quilladin, but the stuff like the Fearow and the Monferno for Rillaboom to be able to win the game really easily. So it's just a case of clicking Toxic with Heatran, clicking Protect, getting that damage off through Toxic. Magma Storm is also great for that damage over time, despite it being a bit inaccurate. And then Earth Power is nice because it allows me to hit maybe the Monferno on the switch if I predict it, or Pachirisu a bit harder, or Brion a little bit harder if I wanted as well. So there's that. Then moving on, we've got this Rillaboom here with the Grassy Seed, Swords Dance, Gross Glide, High Horsepower, and Acrobatics. The idea of this Rillaboom is it shouldn't hit the field until right at the end of the game when it sets up with a Swords Dance and sweeps. If I come in on the Gabite, or basically anything that's physical, I get the +1 defense from Grassy Seed, I just get to click Swords Dance for free. Against most things on this team, I just get to click Swords Dance for free, and then at +2, I have the calcs here. Pretty much everything just dies. If he lets me get to +4, the game is over. Grassy Glide just kills everything if he lets me get to +4. And it actually kills a lot of stuff at +2 straight off. Stuff like offensive Gabite, it just kills. Riolu, it just kills. Brion, it just kills. And that's for Brion, even if it's max defense, bold, max HP, Eviolite, all of that. So that's nice. Acrobatics is there for the Quilladin, which it almost kills that if it's max defense. And I'm faster than Quilladin at all times. I also have a weird scenario with the Monferno, where if the Monferno is offensive, Grassy Glide does like 70-80%. He's faster, obviously, but then if he's defensive, it obviously does much less, but then he'd then be slower than Rillaboom, so Acrobatics actually then almost kills as well, as does High Horsepower, which is just there for the Clang, which is the only thing that Grass plus Flying doesn't hit. Super effective, or at least doesn't kill at least. We've got this Kyurem here with the Life Orb. This just breaks really nicely with Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, Drake Meteor, and Earth Power. I have speed for something, I'm not sure what. I have speed for something. It's not the Linoon and the Fearow are 100. It might be. It's not Pachirisu because that's 95. It might be for Hypno. This speed. So essentially, Ice Beam just hits a lot of stuff really, really hard. Drake and Meteor does as well. Freeze Dry's there for the Brion, catching that on the switch. If the Brion comes, it's probably a Gearum check. He might even bring, like... Well, no, because Eviolite gives you the same effect as AV, so you'd bring Eviolite, especially defensive. And the Nerf Power hits Clang a bit harder, as well as Pachirisu, potentially. Then we've got the core bulk of the team here. We've got Weezing and Gligar, both with Defog, because I was just saying, Webs being up is the way I lose. Is pretty much the only way I lose this game. So I just wanted to make sure they were off the field. Weezing's there with the Black Sludge and Levitate with Strange Team, Defog, Flamethrower, and Toxic. And then Gligar is there with the Eviolite with Defog, Roost, U-Turn, and Earthquake, both fully physically defensive. These two combined essentially take on every threat this team has to offer, apart from the Hypno and the Brion. Hypno is dealt with really well by Heatran, and Brion we've just got to pray with. Essentially either the Brion is Specs and I click Protect with Heatran and I see what it locks itself into and then choose to switch appropriately, or the Brion is not Specs and then it does way less damage and I'm not as scared of it. So on the Weezing we've got Strange Team, Flamethrower, and Toxic as the other three moves. Toxic is there because the idea is I want to be clicking Protect with Heatran a lot. I want to just be almost stalling out turns so I get that damage off really safely and then stuff gets worn down. Strange Team hits the Gallade to the Riolu really hard. Flamethrower is there to kind of catch switches into the Clang, and also to hit the Quilladin hard because this just switches into Quilladin all day long. And then Gligar is there, takes on the Riolu incredibly well, takes on Pachirisu incredibly well. It means I don't get paralyzed, which I don't really want to deal with. So I basically just go this on Pachirisu every time. Linoon is dealt with really well by Weezing as well, as is Monferno, and Fearow. Fearow is also dealt with okay by Gligar defensively, but obviously I don't have anything on that set to hit Fearow with super well, so that's kind of a last resort thing. And then Illumise is just such a null threat because of Heatran completely. As I said, Brion is a bit of an issue though. And essentially I can click Protect with Heatran and then just Bruce spam with Gligar in the right scenario and then stuff gets walled down by Toxic, so Illuvium can win the game. And then finishing off we've got Azelf here holding the Expert Belt, and actually with Max Speed Modest I am faster than his entire team outside of Speed Boosted Galarian and Linoon. We've got Dazzling Beam, Psychic, U-Turn, and Energy Ball, which hits most of the team. Obviously you'll see I don't have a move to hit Clang that well, but I thought having Energy Ball over Flamethrower was important because Brion does a lot better against my team. So in a bad scenario, if the Brion does something, Azelf will always live one unless it Specs, and then Energy Ball does a lot back, so I can kind of work with that. And Grassy Guard from Rillaboom always kills, so worst comes to worst I can kind of pull the trigger on that a bit early. Yeah, so that's the team. I'm not going to talk about my nicknaming convention. If anyone can work it out, you get a cookie. But it's not really worth me talking about here right now. So, oh god, okay then. Well, welcome to the battle, everybody. Oh, I'm like really nervous because I don't want to lose this, and I get really nervous with games anyway. Usually, it's kind of how I am, but especially now because I'm recording. You know, that's just kind of a thing. So, so I don't see Brion or Quilladin, which is mainly what I was expecting. You do see the Clang, the Linoon, the Illumise, the Monferno, the Swellix, and the Hypno. I do write notes during games, by the way, which is the noise you can hear. So, I think, if we're being honest, the safe lead is definitely Heatran here. I think, yeah, thanks Orange. Thanks Orange. I know. I don't like the pressure. I really looks like Gligar is riding on Weezing there. So I think the obvious lead is to just lead with Heatran and do what I was saying and just protect and make sure I'm doing the right thing. Alternatively, I could lead Gligar, because there's actually nothing that really threatens Gligar a ton, and I can just roost and make sure. No Gabite, no Riolu, and then no Brioni or Quilladin, which were like the thought I thought were most likely to come. So that's great. Also, you can just ignore the chat to the side, that's just our league. I actually think the Gallade is probably safer. Just because I can roost. No, because I'll be faster than a lot of stuff, but I can just do something turn 1. He doesn't really have a good Earthquake switch, to be fair, so... Now I'm going to lead Azelf and U-turn into Gligar, probably, depending on what's there, so... Yeah, let's do that. That's our live link. Oh god, it's the Linoon. Now, I know what this thing wants to do. It's actually probably going to click Protect, if I had to guess, to get the Toxic Orb off, actually, so... Yeah, I assume it's actually gonna. It's either gonna click. It's probably gonna click Protect or like Sucker Punch. So I like the idea of just going hard, wheezing here. That seems pretty safe because I assume a Protect is coming here. No, just a knockoff. Okay. Potentially. No, he's Flame Orb. Okay. He's Flame Orb. I'm slightly confused by that. Is he going to try and... So he's got Quick Feet, right? So he's Quick Feet, but... Oh, he's going to click Facade, isn't he? He's going to click Facade. Okay, so that's what's about to happen. I'm just going to click Strange Team, because... Oh, you Parting Shots, okay. So he's got... Parting Shot, knockoff. I'm scared of like meme strats coming in, but it looks like he's built fairly seriously so far. He went Hypno, okay. Hypno's got lefties and did not take much from that Strange Team at all. So I'm going to assume that's a very bulky. I'm going to assume that is a very bulky Hypno there. Should have Toxic. Really, I was scared of him clicking like. You know what I was scared of him clicking. Is there really not even a Hypno set on? Oh no, there is. Okay, cool. Based on that Strange Team damage. Yeah, that's very specially bulky. Not with EVLI, but maybe even AV, potentially. I mean, this is very safe. Yeah, Heatran is very safe here. I mean, I get the good part of that, I guess. I really do not want to know. Illumise doesn't get anything stupid, does it? Let's just be really safe here. Let's be really, really safe. It can probably serve up as well, actually. Oh, it does get, like, Mirror Coat or something. That might be what he tries to go for. Yeah, like, that isn't doing anything. So, I think my Toxic is very nice here. Yeah, he goes Monferno, so I get the Toxic off on that, which is really nice. I'm now just going to click Protect and see what he wants to do. Because... I mean, unless he sets up right here, but it looks like this is probably more of a bulky Heatran check set. It probably might have Sugarberry, potentially. He goes Linoon, okay. This thing gets fighting moves. I can tell you that right now. So I'm just going to go straight into Wheezing here. On something. Like, if he pulls a double, that's fine. I just get Black Sludge Recovery. So that's fine. Just knocks again. Okay. I'm confused by this because... Oh, I already had my Black Sludge knocked off. Never mind. Probable Hypno, I'd imagine. Probable Hypno. Yeah, he parting shots, probably into the Hypno. Maybe into the Clang, in which case Toxic probably wasn't the greatest play. Yeah, he goes Hypno, because if this is a bulky Hypno, then getting a Toxic off is really nice. Nice, it goes for Future Sight, okay. This is actually a kind of cool Hypno. I like this, actually. So I take it the turn after, so... There's that. I think at this point I just click Magma Storm on whatever he wants to try and bring in. He stays in. That's fine. He goes for Wish. Okay. That's fine. He might have Protect on this. I don't really want to waste Magma Storms. I mean, his play is like probably staying in and trying to get it on here. No, he let it. Oh, Seismic Toss. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. And then I take. Okay, that's fine. So we know he's Future Sight, Seismic Toss. I'm just gonna Magnum Storm here because I either kill it on the next turn. Yeah. So he wishes again, but he goes down to Toxic here. So Hypno goes down. I don't like this. I don't like this. Monferno comes in. What does Gligar actually do for me here? Not much. So yeah, I'm happy going Gligar on this actually. Yeah, he does SD, so let's be careful there. I think he predicted me to try and flick Toxic there, so we'll definitely take that. He might have Ice Punch, but I'd probably live, if I'm honest. Flare Blitz doesn't even do half, yeah, and this Earthquake might kill? Almost, and he'll die to Toxic actually, yeah. So Monferno goes down, it's a kill for Gligar. He'll go into this, which, if you didn't know, this can't Belly Drum like the regular Linoon, so I'm just going to click Roost here. He tricks Flame Orb. Ah, that's clever. That's clever, I like that. I like that. I like that. That's cool. I appreciate that a lot. That was really clever. So that's kind of what he's trying to do some shenanigans. So this is essentially it's a support Linoon that's meant to trick something. That's cool. I assume he's trying to set up for like a Clang sweep, I would assume. So I think it's important to keep Heatran in the back for now, just because it stops that Clang sweep. Just because I don't want to do that. Yeah, sorry if you can hear noises. It's either me typing or me writing, because I do write notes. But this is a supporting Linoon. I like, because I think you can say he's memed with 1-pointers, but actually his team composition within those 1-pointers is pretty good. I think like Quilladin Brioni works well, Gallade works well with Riolu, and then there's stuff like Clang in there to cover for weaknesses. Yeah, he does a Facade. Okay. So we've seen Facade knock off Parting Shot, which means he probably doesn't have something good to hit Azelf with, I would assume. I wish I had Flamethrower over Engiable right now. He's fast though, that's the issue. How much does Rillaboom take actually? Because I kill Swirlix. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, so let's just check this out and see if I can just set up with Thingy with Bob right now. What am I looking for? Flame Orb. Oh, I don't actually need that. That's fine. Let's assume worst case scenario. He's Adamant, and then he's Quick Feet. He's burned, and he's going for Facade. Oh, Facade's there actually. Perfect. That's Wheezing against Rillaboom. It actually does a bit more than I'm comfortable with, I'll be honest. But I kind of want to go for it. I want to try and get kills of this. So that's gonna pop it, because even with Earthquake being weakened by terrain, that now doesn't matter because it's burned anyway, so that's fine. So I'm just gonna click Swords Dance here. He parting shots, so I'll be +1 rather than +2. And he goes Ulamizo. So this might have some kind of plan for me if I had to guess, but I'm just gonna click Acrobatics, and it dies. Yeah, clearly not a plan then. No, he can parting shot cycle me, so that's not a... But then if he brings Lightning back in, I can just click SD again, so that's maybe not his best play. Oh, I've just realised he's got a... Oh, apart from Swirlix, he's got oh, because I haven't seen Swirlix yet, but he's got Teen Titan nicknames, hasn't he? That's cool. I'm gonna high horsepower, and almost kills. That's cool. He shift gears. That's fine. He doesn't beat Heatran. I can probably glide actually, and it might kill. Yeah, it does. So there goes Clang. Idune probably dies to this, I would assume. Yeah. Oh, because I'm not in terrain anymore, so it wasn't priority. I was about to say, what the heck? That's fine. That's a good game to Amerillo. I wish him well over the course of the season. I hope he picks up at least one win with this team, just because it would be hilarious. Swirlix gets... Oh, there it is. I was going to say, Swirlix gets no sprite. I'll just glide. It almost kills. He degleams. So he does pick up a kill, which, cool. He gets himself a kill, and I'll give it to Azelf. And give the team. Kirim didn't get to hit the field. That's fine. But solid 5-0 win there. I could have slow played that probably better than 1-6-0 in the end, but I just I wanted Rillaboom to get the kills, so I just went for it. Yeah, 1 kill. Let's go. It's fine. I was saying AV Goon there is Matt. He's saying I was in first. So actually next week, at the moment, is going to be first v second at the early stage. So not that I've actually done much so far, but oh, he had Charm. That's actually really cool. That's nice tech. So hope you enjoyed the match, everybody. Going to be a bit slightly more intense one next week, I think. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, everybody. Goodbye.